Good morning, everyone. Today's read aloud book is titled Lost and Found by Oliver Jeffers. I'm sure all of you have read other picture books by Oliver Jeffers. So let's read another one today. So the story has these two main characters, a boy and a penguin. What do you know already about penguins? Where do you find them? Yes, so penguins are found in the South Pole only. And those are the colder regions of our Earth, with temperatures falling as low as minus 70, 80. The two characters here in this uh, on this page certainly don't look very happy. So what do you think is making them unhappy? And looking at the title of the book, what do you think is going to happen? Let's read ahead to find out. There was once a boy, and one day he found a penguin. Oh, well, that's really surprising. A penguin at someone's door? How's that even possible? What do you think the boy must have felt right now? Looking at the penguin, what does the boy feel? I'm sure he's as surprised as I am. The boy didn't know where it had come from, but it began to follow him everywhere. The penguin looked sad, and the boy thought it must be lost. So the boy decided to help the penguin find its way home. He checked in the lost and found office, but no one was missing a penguin. He asked some birds if they knew where the penguin came from, but they ignored. Some birds are like that. The boy asked his duck, but the duck floated away. He didn't know. That night, the boy couldn't sleep for disappointment. He wanted to help the penguin, but he didn't know how to. The next morning, he discovered that penguins came from the South Pole. But how could he get there? He ran down to the harbor and asked the big ship to take them to the South Pole, but his voice was too small to be heard over the ship's horn. So, together, he and the penguin would row to the South Pole. Do you think South Pole would be very close? No, I'm sure the journey is going to be long. But let's see if they make it. So the two are ready with a boat. The boy took his rowboat out of the cupboard and they tested it for size and strength. They packed everything they would need, and together they pushed the rowboat out to the sea. They rowed south for many days and nights, with the boy telling stories all the way. Oh, that would have made for a very pleasant journey. So, do you see the boy and penguin being comfortable? Do you think they're friends now? And how do you think the penguin must feel right now? I think the penguin must have found some comfort now. The penguin listened to everything that the boy said. They floated through good weather and bad, when the waves were big as mountains, until they came to the South Pole. The boy was delighted that but the penguin said nothing. Suddenly, it looked sad again as the boy helped it out of the boat. Oh no, why do you think the penguin is sad again? The boy said goodbye and floated away. But as he looked back, the penguin looked sadder than ever. Why do you think the penguin is sadder than ever? I think the penguin found a friend in this little boy, and that is why the penguin is extremely sad to part with the boy now. Loneliness does that to you sometimes, and you want to find someone whom you can trust, whom you can share with. The penguin must feel lonely. So let's read on. It felt strange to be on his own, and the more he thought, the more he realized he was making a big mistake. The penguin wasn't lost, he was just lonely. Quickly, he turned the boat around and headed back to the South Pole as fast as he could. At last, he reached the pole again. But where was the penguin? The boy searched and searched, but he was nowhere to be found. Sadly, the boy set off for home. The boy couldn't find the penguin. What do you think the boy feels now? And what do you think will happen next? Sadly, the boy set off for home. There was no point telling stories because there was no one to listen except the wind and the waves. But then the boy saw something in the water ahead of him. Closer and closer. Closer and closer he got until he could see the penguin. Ah, they finally reunited. And as you can see, they gave each other a friendly hug. I think the penguin really missed the boy. And so the boy and his friend went home together, talking of wonderful things all the way. So this is how this story ends. What do you think about the story? What does this tell you about loneliness and friendship? So with this thought, let's end the read aloud.